Welcome to Cosplay Academy, where we teach you different aspects on cosplay construction. Today, we're going to talk about Plasti Dip. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Plasti Dip, it is a spray-on rubber sealant. Now, with this, whenever you're going to spray it onto your product, you know, there's been a lot of videos that I've seen on car parts and stuff like that, which is what it was originally designed for. But we want to use it for cosplay purposes. And now the question comes, what happens when we use it on our cosplays? Well, I have the answers to that. Basically, what I did is I took one of the projects I'm currently working on at the moment, which is Deathstroke. Working on a helmet for him, and I went ahead and stopped where I was at in the process because I wanted to go ahead and spray it down and point out a lot of different things on this. I mean, I'm still going to go ahead and finish my mask and everything in a separate video and smooth everything out in the way I want to. But I want to show you this. If you take it and go ahead and spray it on, it's going to pick up every little thing on there. Now, this in particular, I started off by doing my peppercorn design, and I've done the resin on the outside. I did not fiberglass the inside because I wanted to do a test since the inside was still cardstock. It's so dark you can't really see, but it has actually gone and absorbed perfectly to the paper on the inside. The texture and everything is actually really good. Now, any holes or anything like that you have, it's going to go ahead and hold on to that. The major thing is, I mean, the holes, it's not going to do anything. It's just going to let it go. Now, any holes that you have, like I have in a few spots, it'll kind of just like clump around it, but it's not going to do anything with it. So definitely make sure to seal up any holes that you have. You want to go and smooth the product first, because you see spots like this where I still have to go back over it. It goes ahead and it'll pick up every little thing. This is the purpose of these videos, so you can see what's going to happen if you do not finish your stuff ahead of time. Some of the stuff we'll go ahead and finish and show you the right way of doing things, but ones like these, we want to show you what happens if you don't. So, case in point, I still have a lot of detail work and everything I have to do, which I'll go back and I'll Bondo over top of everything and just finish it all up, smooth it out, sand it out. A lot of putty work I gotta do. But all in all, I mean, this actually coats very well for what I was putting on there. This is actually about 3 coats altogether. And first one was light, and then they got a little heavier. Now, if you have anything that you rub up against, it's going to kind of stick to it. And you can't really, like, mask off with it, because you're going to end up pulling it off. Now, if you're just using this for a sealant, like you're wanting to use it for a hardener, no. Because it didn't actually change the hardness of the piece any at all. The rigidness that you have on this piece in particular is from our fiberglass resin and the cardstock itself, the way that the glues and the folds work with it. Now, it does make a good seal, though. I mean, it's a good rubber seal. I could actually put water in the bottom of this and it'll actually hold, minus where I left the holes on there. But like I said, I'm still going to go back and patch this up. But with this in particular, though, I mean, it actually comes out really well on actually sealing everything up. If all this was perfectly smooth, then this would actually be a really great kind of like sealant and, you know, base layer before you actually could move on to painting. But standalone, if you're just trying to use it for all your projects and everything, then no, it's going to pick up every little thing, because this is not really showing you on the inside because it's so dark, but every little flap and fold is prominent and sticking out. So if you're one of those that you have to finish it a very particular way, then you're going to want to go ahead and finish your project first, foremost, done, and save all of this for the very last stuff before you go to paint. But honestly, before you move on to painting, the way that this turned out, I mean, it's actually really good. It's flexes really well, being a rubber-based spray and all that. So I don't really see any issues of, like, you know, you do the putties and all that, you're going to go and you're going to squeeze that. That's going to break some things. But this gives perfectly. It just goes with it. If you're going to have minimal movement in a piece of what you're after, you're not wanting completely rigid, this is one thing you can do. But I definitely want to go ahead and finish this up. Because the way that it is set up in the end and the way it just looks, it just feels really better in some aspects also. But as you see, it keeps every little bit of all of it. Now, one big thing about this is it definitely keeps more of the heat in, because this is an insulation for it. So, depending on the piece that you're going to be doing it on, that's one thing you need to keep in mind. Now, with this in particular, what I would normally have done before spraying it is gone ahead and made your air holes in it, which is where I was at. I was actually at that point to go ahead and putting all the holes and everything in. I just wanted to go ahead and do this. Now, being a Plastidip, the rubber compound, I could actually take the holes that I have on here and go ahead and start peeling it off. Now, I don't know how it's going to work with the inner layer, because for the most part, it looks like it actually kind of absorbed into the paper, the cardstock, when I was first doing it, and then it just built on top of that. So that would be kind of interesting to see. But, you know, all in all, I mean, it's not like I can just go and peel this off really slowly if I have to. But one big thing is you definitely want to make sure you put several coats on when you're using the Plastidip, because this sprays on very, very light. So whenever you're going and you're spraying everything on, you want to start off with a light coat first, going across it. Then give it about 30 minutes. Go back and hit it again with another light coat. Try to keep them as light as possible, because I wanted to do another test on it, just hitting it with really big thick globs in spots. So let's see if we can pick it up in here. And you can just tell right away, because I actually hit this all with a really light sand first to kind of smooth most of it out. So this way the clumps and runoff and the smears and all that stuff, you can get a better idea of what you're looking at with it. But if you need a piece that you're sealing it, but you don't need it like absolutely rigid, this is definitely the stuff you want to use. And then put your base coat layer over top of this. Just use this as a primer, because if you do that and then you go and you hit your stuff over top of it, then move on to painting the rest of your stuff. This will work a lot better for you. But if you were to leave it just as this, I don't see it being too much of an issue in terms of durability, because it seems to last really well from what I've experienced with everything. You definitely have to give it at least a week or two to make sure it fully cures. So that's one downside too. If you're in a hurry for everything, it might not be your best bet, because it's going to take a little bit longer for it to dry and fully cure. I mean, it'll dry and be still tacky the next day a little bit, but in terms of just completely done and ready to go, then yeah, you're wanting to wait a little bit on it before you actually use it for anything. So don't wait till last minute to be able to use it. Now, as far as how it feels in the rubberized parts, I'm going to be using Plastidip on a few of the other projects we have coming up in other videos. So make sure to keep an eye out on it. But definitely, I mean, this is actually just a great little spray. The smell out of this is a lot stronger than regular spray can paint. keep that in mind also. So definitely make sure you use your masks. Make sure you are in a ventilated area when you are spraying this, because you do not want to have any accidents. And as strong as the fumes are from this, I mean, even with my stuff, I was buzzing last night when I did this major spray on this. And it's just, no. Make sure you have your stuff. Make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. And do light coats, like I said, that way you're not going to be around it as much at one time. That way you can kind of settle down. If you are asthmatic, especially, make sure to be careful with it, because, like I said, this is very strong and it will set you off. Now, the different colors you have with this is black, white, blue, red. There's actually several versions that you can purchase online to go with it, and just a lot of different ones. Blaze ones are the latest ones coming out. Really vibrant, bright colors. So if you're going to use it for a base coat primer type scenario, try to get one that's going to go along with what you're after. Generally, it'd be either the white or the black. Or if you're just wanting to play around with them, then go ahead and get them, try them out, see what you get. But in terms of the Plastidip though, honestly, I like it. I recommend it depending on the project you're going to be doing. And always, like I showed you, make sure to finish up all of your sanding, your filling, all of that, so that you're not going to be setting yourself behind having to go back and redo this and redo this and redo this. Because, you know, take the extra time to go ahead and finish your stuff ahead of time. This way, it's just going to look a lot better in the long run. As always, make sure to click the like button. Let us know you actually enjoyed these videos. Make sure to click the subscribe button so you can be up to date with everything we do here at Try Soda Taku. And until next time, class dismissed.